Hey, this is Alabama Chris coming back at you for the third Saturday in October. This is the SEC 2021 Media Day coverage. I am Alabama Chris covering the SEC West. My co-caster and partner in crime, Bradley Minigan, is the correspondent for the SEC East. So we're going every other day talking about what we've learned from the SEC Media Days. Today, we're talking about Sam Pittman and the Arkansas Razorbacks. They did not finish like they would have liked to last year in the SEC West, coming in sixth out of seven positions. But I say that coming off a year where he was, I think he was hired in December of 2019, then in a few months had to deal with all the COVID-related issues. Being Arkansas in general in the SEC West, it's always going to be an uphill climb. But I thought it was a respectable year, even going 3-7. Got a first-year coach. You're not going to give too much debit to that kind of ranking, or the sixth in the West with a 3-7 record when you've got a new coach. So this year there's a lot to prove from Sam Pittman, but one thing that he is proving is that I love listening to him. He is great behind the microphone. He is just from what I heard some people call him during SEC Media Days, just salt of the earth. And I can't say enough about what I am enjoying about Sam Pittman. He just looks Arkansas. He feels like the Arkansas coach, and one that just really embraces Fayetteville, Arkansas lifestyle. He talked a lot about the fact that it looks like somewhere around 6 years in a row that Fayetteville has been ranked by U.S. News and World Report one of the top cities to live in the nation. Fayetteville, for the last several years, coming in fourth place nationally as to where, if you're going to move, what would be a great city to live in. So did not know that about Fayetteville. Would love to get up there and visit. Haven't visited the Fayetteville, Arkansas area in quite a while, but I love the natural beauty from up there. And I think that is a big part of what pulls people in. You know, you're not going to see skyscrapers anywhere. This isn't a densely populated metropolis, but Fayetteville, Arkansas has got a lot of reasons as far as industry, career-wise. Outdoors is a big thing in Fayetteville, so I love that they actually took some time in there to talk about that again for years and years in a row, that Fayetteville, Arkansas is ranked as high as it is in the nation for desirability to live in. So going on from there, we always give like a coach speak or a filibuster award. And I have to say that even though Sam Pittman was up on stage for about 11 minutes before he took a Q&A, and a lot of what he said in that 11 minutes was filled with coach speak, I don't really blame the guy. Again, this is year 2 for him. He's got a lot to prove. He needs to talk about why Arkansas is going to try their best this year. And so there needs to be some of that coach speak. So I didn't even blame him there. I thought that he did a really good job, looked really sharp when it comes to his uni rating or his suit game. I rated him a 7 on there. He looked sharp. He put himself together. And again, I think that just his vibe, his salt of the earth humor that he brings to the table is a great fit for Arkansas. They need a head coach like that kind of leads by example. I even heard one of the student athletes that were there talking that he quoted Coach Pittman as coach saying, "I'm not a smart guy, but I just work hard. So if you guys, even if you don't feel like you're the smartest, if you continue to work hard, you can succeed like I do." So I love that example that he's showing. And on that note of the humor, I thought he did an amazing job of humor. And again, coaches aren't necessarily known as being humorous people. But on my scale, if you get up and talk for 30 minutes in front of a crowd, I'll give you 3 points out of 10 if you just crack one joke. Even if it's successful or not successful, I'll give you 3 points. I'll give you 3 points for a successful joke, and I'll give you 2 points if you didn't even mean to make a joke, but you made the audience laugh anyway with something that you said. And with all that, I give him a humor rating for the coaches in the SEC of 9. He actually is my top-ranked coach coming into SEC Media Days, just being able to banter with the audience when it doesn't matter what the questions are. He doesn't seem thrown by them all. He just looks comfortable, and he looks like he's enjoying his time up there. A few just of the quick jokes. He said that the Arkansas Razorbacks are coming off as defending champions of the hardest schedule. And he says that with the schedule that they have coming up this year, that it looks like that they're going to be a three-peater in the defending champions of the hardest schedule in college football. And looking at the schedule that they have, I do not blame the guy. I do not doubt him for what he's saying there. Just a quick look. Just in the first couple of weeks, I think that we're still in September when you play Texas. And then 2 weeks later, or maybe, I think 2 weeks later, you play Texas A&M. Then a week after that, you play Georgia. Texas A&M and Georgia, back to back. And that's in the middle of the season. Then you have an October where you can get some good wins in there. And then you have November coming in where you have LSU and then Alabama right there at the tail end of the season. So, I mean, you look at that. Texas A&M, Georgia, LSU, Alabama, not to mention teams with a lot of momentum. Auburn, Ole Miss, Mississippi State seems to be doing better this year. So it's a gauntlet that the Arkansas Razorbacks have to play. So as we look at the projected outcome for the SEC West, they are probably playing toward the bottom of the list again. But when you look at that schedule that you have to play, including out of the SEC West, you're playing Georgia as your crossover for the second year in a row. And you're also playing Texas. You got Steve Sarkisian coming from Alabama, offensive coordinator duties, now the head coach at the Longhorns. That is going to be a hard-fought game for the Arkansas Razorbacks because that's early in the season. Texas are really going to be wanting to prove themselves then. And that is coming off, or that is just off a season opener. And then you play Texas, and then you have another game where you can kind of get yourself under wraps, and then, or get yourself together. And then you have Texas A&M and Georgia coming back to back like that. It's going to be tough for the Arkansas Razorbacks. But I think that Sam Pittman is a great fit for that program. And if we're going to see Arkansas kind of eke its way up through those SEC West rankings, I think that Sam Pittman is the man to do it. One of the few coaches in the country that has offensive line playing experience. So I really like that as well. Again, he likes to say, I'm a big guy, but I'm going to do what I can. I'm not a smart man, but I'm just going to work harder than everybody. I love that kind of self-deprecating humor that he has going on. Just a few more ideas from Arkansas is that there were two of their players that they brought, Grant Morgan, an all-SEC linebacker, and Myron Cunningham, who is a left tackle. Now, they're both considered super seniors. Now, this is something that Coach Pittman is a title that Coach Pittman gave to those seniors who decided to come back for that extra year of availability when the whole COVID rules happened. That they oftentimes, once you finish out your eligibility as a senior, then you must move on. But because of COVID, there was an extra year put in there. And so several of the Arkansas Razorback seniors, 11 in all, in fact, are considered super seniors. Now, there are 12 that are just regular seniors that would have been seniors this year had the COVID eligibility rules not been in line, but 23 returning seniors for the football team. That's a lot of experience. That is probably going to make them one of the older teams in the SEC, and not just older, but just more playing time. And so, will we see this year Arkansas Razorbacks be using that additional playing time, those additional 11 seniors coming back to give you that much more experience? Will that come into play, especially in an October where they could get some really significant wins to stretch out what is growing in the Sam Pittman era at Arkansas Razorbacks as a rebuilding of sorts? So will we see that coming up? I'm excited to see if they will. A few more notes here. Just wanted to say that, again, they are the first team in the country to also hire an administrator to deal specifically with student athletes when it comes to NIL, marketing, advertising, how you set yourself up as a player and an athlete and a student all at the same time. So they have hired someone to deal just with that. I thought that was pretty interesting also. So a lot of rebuilding that they have, but a lot of momentum, a lot of potential with Sam Pittman. I'm excited for Sam Pittman. I was excited for both Grant Morgan and Myron Cunningham, their remarks that they had. They did a really good job. You could tell there was some nervousness there, being those student athletes. Probably only 21, 22 years old at this point, so they haven't had a lot of time on screen or in front of a microphone, but I thought that they both handled themselves very well. I'm just going to go ahead and give a quick suit game ranking, a uni ranking for those players as well. I think both of them have earned a 6. Kind of typical off-the-rack suits that you would see, but they had their hair game, their facial hair game was on point, so I'm giving them a little over an average as a 6 there. And I will continue to bring this kind of hard-hitting journalism to the third Saturday in October. And until next time, where we go over some more of the SEC West for Media Days. Signing off saying, roll balls, baby.